can eavesdrop on us. Eavesdrop while we're getting ready. Hunter went to run out. Jim is going to be here any minute. It's just me and Danny Palm. Oh, this? You're talking about this? All right, yeah, we'll fix that. So, like, we do a lot of sound checking, make sure, like, Danny's back there making sure everyone's on the same level and all that good stuff. Just some behind the scenes stuff.
Hello, people.
Yeah, hello, people. So, on the podcast today, I'm looking forward to talking about Brawl in the BitB15. It's a great show. We'll talk about that. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff to talk about. Hunter just recorded a podcast with Mason DeLess. That'll be out probably in the next day or two. He has a little bit of post to do, I think. Just adding some highlights in and stuff like that. As they talk about stuff, he's going to add some stuff in. But we're live here today. Hunter went to grab a couple beverages, so he ran out. And yeah, you're just eavesdropping. We'll actually be starting the actual podcast around 2:00. So we have about 7 minutes ish before we actually really start. But here's the funny thing: is Hunter and Jim both don't know that, like, we're live now. So Hunter's gonna come strolling in here. He'll have no idea. Here's calling me right now. Let's see if we can eavesdrop on this call. Hold on. Hello? Never mind, I'm an idiot. Peace. All right, well, I agree. So Hunter said, I want to get a beer for this podcast. And I said, well, just go to my house because I live pretty close to the studio. And so that was him probably not being able to get into my garage and putting the wrong number in or something. Who knows? Jim is due to arrive at right around 2, he said. So he's getting off work, coming here, and podcasting away. So for anyone that's like watching this right now, I'm going to give you a little insider. We have to change the date of the award show. Danny, do you even know this? You don't know this. Okay, we're changing the date of the award show due to a conflict in Hunter's schedule. He's a busy guy. Listen, the guy is so popular. He's just, he's just not able to be there on the 30th. So we originally intended on 12:30, and we're moving it to January 5th. So it's going to be January 5th at 7 p.m., which gives us a little bit extra time to, with the show that just happened, we made a couple additions, alterations to who the nominees were for the awards. This should all be actually, Jim hasn't been a part of that. So this might be all new to Jim. He might have seen it. We have like a program we share. I don't know if he can see it or not, but we kind of list stuff in there. So he may have happened upon it, but unless he happened upon it, he doesn't know who the nominees are that we whittled them down. We had, some people listed as nominees just because we were trying to like stockpile a comprehensive list, and we could kind of, eliminate ones once we had the full list and see how many we had. But one thing we didn't want to do is like nominate someone just to have like the right number of nominations. And so we didn't do that. If you're nominated for something, we legitimately feel like, you are worthy of that nomination. And in the right, the right situation could win that. I'm also thinking about adding. We probably are going to add. I'm thinking. Hunter and I were in the car for a long time on Monday, and we talked about adding a category, and we just what we came up with is like pro MVP and AMI MVP, and what MVP has to do with essentially is like, so all of that other stuff was like fighting, and it's really important that when fighters take a fight and they promote it and they sell tickets and they do all those things, that's the other side of the business that means a lot. Like we 247 Fighting Championships doesn't stay in business because of anything like our marketing or anything like that. We stay in business because the fighters who actively sell tickets and are getting all their friends and family, making sure they all get tickets. It's not a fun part of the game. Like, no one likes to do it, but guess what? That's how we stay in business. That's how fighters make money. In regional MMA, pro fights, like, you can't make enough to live off of. But if you're selling tickets and you're, finding sponsors and you're really pushing hard, you can make a living off of it. And people have done it, and people still do it. People have done it in Pittsburgh. It's not easy, and like I said, like that's a part of the game that no one wants to, it's, you don't like nagging people to buy tickets. At the same time, like in the sales world, like people don't buy the first time, they don't buy the second time. It usually takes a bunch of attempts in order to get someone to make the purchase. And so we're going to have a category called MVP for pros, MVP for, there's no nominees because it's not a vote. It's the person that has promoted and sold the most in the past year. So we're excited about that. I am, at least. Now I hear Hunter coming in. They literally have no idea we're already on live. So let's just kind of see how much they swear in real life. And the things they talk about. Let's kind of see what things they talk about. Because they have no idea. Okay.
That's pretty good.
So there's Santa Jim.
Pretty good, dude.
We're live.
We're live.
I gave people a sneak peek. I was talking about stuff,
As is
and it takes, it takes a little while for people to get hooked up, to get the feed. Groove is in the hot, so there's no chit chat. You guys all of a sudden got all quiet. Oh, they're live. Oh, never mind. I won't.
Well, there was chit chat out there. We were talking about you.
Well, it was picked up on these mics are awfully sensitive, and we're gonna have to run it back and see what you guys were saying.
One.
Jim doesn't know how to work that. He's having a lot of trouble.
They're backwards. I think. Yeah. The red is right. Blue
Red
is
right
left.
returning.
Red is right. Ruffles have
You're a
ridges.
Do you want a beer, Jim? I got Blue Moon.
Wait, you didn't get the IPA stuff?
I did, but I know Jim's favorite is Blue Moon, so I got Blue Moon for Jim.
I was gonna say he got my favorite. I'm getting citrus. Although that haze is pretty.
The haze is good. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if these are Twisty Boys or not,
I
but
think they're Twisty Boys.
Jimothy. Did you guys know Jim is short for Jimothy?
Well, I thought we discussed this though, because there's
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
Danny,
Timmy.
Manny.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Timmy.
Timmy, Ryan, Brian.
My middle name is not Brian, but I would
It should
I
be.
would
No, it
legit
was,
change
yeah.
it.
I thought it was.
It definitely should be.
And
Ryan
then-
Brian.
What did we have?
I named Austin's middle name's Boston.
Nice.
Yeah, you were Hunter Punter.
Hunter Punter.
Wasn't there a punter named Hunter? Hunter
I'm
the punter.
sure.
No, I
Hunter
mean
the
like
punter?
NFL. No, Hunter the punter wasn't a thing.
Maybe. Not that I know of, though.
Yeah, guys. Brawl in the Burgh, 16 coming up. No,
Yeah.
yeah, 16's coming up. I said that on accident. I meant to say 15.
Oh.
Brawl in the Burgh, 15. We're a couple days out. We have like just like fighters, I'm sure experience. I've never, obviously fought, but we have a.
You mean
we're on?
It's coming up. You said a couple days out.
No,
I got to check my paperwork.
we're a couple days from it, and I can tell you, from like me personally, I have a high the next day or two at least. I think it's kind of worn off, but I think fighters experience the same kind of thing. I like to kind of calm down before we kind of analyze things, and we were already talking matching the next, that night even.
Yeah.
But like, what do you guys like? A couple days later, what are your guys' thoughts on the card, the event, the night, all that good stuff?
Go ahead, Jim.
I was super impressed by a chin, and that was the first bout.
First bout
of
of the night.
I thought, okay, early stoppage, and I was joking around with somebody with the commission and saying that here are the insurance forms. I'm probably going to print some extras because it's going to be a rough night. And that was Rock'em Sock'em Robot, that first bout.
Seriously.
Tim
Funny you say that
Von
because I
Biedenfeld.
literally said that on at the intermission when we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said it was Rock'em Sock'em, but no one would go down.
Those guys were nuts. I mean, after a fight for me, part of my job is like going through the clips, making a little video, like keep the hype rolling, photos, videos, all that stuff. And that was the first clip I thought of. I'm like, a video of Tim Von Biedenfeld just eating punches and smiling. Like, that's obvious. Got to get that out there. So we got that out there. Go check it out on our Instagram if you guys want to see a clip. Or even better yet, Ryan Middleton and Jimothy Mooney. Go check it out on 247 Live.
What's
Now
that?
available.
Tell me what that's all
This
about.
app is now available on Roku, iOS, and Apple TV, or just any old web browser. If you want to watch every 247 Fighting Championships event ever, stream 247live.com.
And individual fights you can find. It's like UFC Fight Pass Pittsburgh.
No, it truly is. That's exactly what it is, and it
but
looked
better.
And yeah, but better, obviously.
I mean,
Looks
Hunter
like Netflix.
built it, so it's the best.
In fact, if you guys are watching this podcast right now, you are on stream247live.com, so you're halfway there.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, you're missing out. And you're not live. Like, this is happening before you actually heard it if you're not watching on 247 Live.
Exactly. So you get to see our hideous mugs and get first access to information. Who wouldn't do that?
Who would turn that down?
But in all honesty, the Roku app, I primarily use Roku at home. I'm not from Upper St. Clair. I don't have an Apple TV, but I do have a Roku.
Oh, that's that
And,
Apple TV's Upper St. Clair thing.
Dude, absolutely. Take a poll.
Wait,
Take a poll, bro.
Okay, so they've sold 8 billion Apple TVs all in Upper St. Clair.
Upper St. Clair, literally
Yeah.
every single one. I asked the Apple store. I was at the Ross Park Mall the other day at the Apple
Oh,
store.
the Ross Park Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at
we
the
don't
Apple
have one of
store.
those here.
Yeah, South Hills Village is totally not comparable.
It is not.
I can't
You got the
even.
Galleria.
Ross Park
You guys
Mall.
got the Galleria too.
Okay, no one goes there.
Williams-Sonoma slaps.
Slaps.
Seriously,
William,
the Roku app looks great.
how are you
I don't know how I
feeling,
got off
Hunter?
that. I feel fantastic.
Okay, good. Because Hunter was Hunter. Oh, our little Hunter.
Poor little Hunter. on
Our
Friday.
poor little Hunter. He answered the phone. He was like, it was
Tuesday. It was
Tuesday morning, and he answers the phone. I don't feel so good.
That is verbatim. That is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I got the post-fight sickies, so I'm still congested. You can probably hear, but I'm good.
You're gonna have to nose laugh a couple times today.
Might blow some snot on the mic if I do.
So I was literally harassing Hunter, and I were in the vehicle, and I like never noticed it before, but Hunter nose laughs a lot, and
I
so
never noticed it either.
and we were driving, and I hear him nose laugh. I'm like, bro, you nose laugh like all the time. No, not freaky breathing. But I was like, you nose laugh all the time. And he's like, really? Do I? And then every time he
Ugh.
started nose laughing, he would catch himself
Yeah,
after
I was
that.
like, oh no, I'm nose laughing.
I never noticed that.
No, Everything is like moderately funny to me, I think. Like everything. Even Ryan. So that's
on,
why
bro.
I nose lap.
I thought we had a discussion coming in.
It's true, we did.
Yeah, about you.
What was the discussion coming in?
I don't know.
'Cause,
Check the mics.
I mean,
Probably
we were,
caught
Yeah,
it.
that's right. You said these are sensitive.
we were, my audience and I were talking about you guys too. So there.
Oh, that's
Boom.
cute. Dude, speaking of audiences, shout out the Monroeville crowd. That was a big crowd, dude.
That was a really
but
nice
why
crowd.
were they so quiet? I'm going to say it now.
I'm going to say it. No. I'll tell you why they were quiet. It wasn't quiet later. It was quiet
True.
early.
That first fight, Rock'em Sock'em, Colton Musgrove, Tim, like they should have been going
You
nuts.
could hear pin.
It was crazy.
Do you know why?
Now I do. You explained it already, but explain it for the listener.
Here's that's the problem with not selling any tickets is your fight sounds like a ghost town.
Yeah.
When you don't sell tickets, no one knows you. Like you're making your debut, or like, you're in your second fight, or even your third fight. Like if you don't sell tickets, if you don't have your friends, family, all those people there, like that's what it's going to sound like, and that doesn't lead to you being considered an MVP.
Right. That's very true. So Colton unfortunately got disqualified back at BitB15 for an illegal shot to a down opponent. Bounced back with a big win here, and now
Huge win.
he and his wife are expecting a baby. So big kudos to Colton. He might be taking some time off to be a dad. That's really cool.
Congratulations. How do you? I mean, Hunter, you have an interest in that, right? How's that?
Oh, kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What did you say to me yesterday when I said your Christmas present to me could be babysitting my 3 kids for a month?
Yeah, I was like, you don't have to pay me for 3 months, and I won't. I'd rather not get paid than have to babysit your kids.
That's awesome.
Not that your kids aren't awesome, because they are legitimately really good
Austin,
kids.
right?
No, yeah.
You pronounced it wrong.
Awesome.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Austin.
Sorry. Yeah, they're pretty awesome, but babysitting, not so sure about that.
They are awesome. You just ask them; they'll tell you.
Make sure
You don't even have to ask. Actually,
Yeah, there's no asking needed.
Yeah.
It must. I don't know. It must run in the family.
I want to know, you guys, as we did this last time and it was kind of fun. I want to know the fight of the night picks, because I feel like this was, to me, when I look back on this card, this was an extremely competitive card. Shout out Jim Mooney, Danny Palm for the matchmaking. Those were some killer fights. Very even fights all the way around. How would you pick a fight of the night on such a night that started with the one we said between Colton and Tim? That was a fight of the night a lot of nights, but there are some more contenders on this one.
Well, the other thing too that it plays a factor when you call it a fight of the night, and it's just the reality of it, is the level you're at, right?
Absolutely.
And so like your debuting amateurs might have a harder time becoming. It can still happen, but it probably needs to look a little different than a fight of the night that is a pro or an advanced amateur. So, my fight of the night, I think. Now it ended in a finish, but I like Mason's fight.
Very fair.
Like, I think that fight was, both those guys were very game. They were both high level. It seemed like Mason always had he was always a little bit ahead,
Yep.
And so, it wasn't a surprise that he was the one that got the finish. I think it would have been a surprise the other way, because Mason was kind of control, even though
It was close.
I think he may have lost the second
Yeah,
round, but
yeah.
I think it was. I think that was just due to a takedown that nothing really happened. It was
Sure.
a late takedown, if my memory's
It was
correct.
something like that. I'm with you. I talked to Mason about it too. This
I
is
already-
live.
yeah, I already told them we
But yeah,
recorded
Mason was
Mason.
just in, and I asked him, like, did you think it was 1-1 going to the third? And he was like, I wasn't sure. He felt for sure he won the first round, which I also feel.
I agree.
The second was kind of up for debate.
Yeah, I think it was close enough that takedown could have won that round for him and been the difference maker. But
For sure.
that's hard to
Is
say.
that right?
What judges?
Split, yeah.
I thought it went the other way.
Wait.
What are we looking at?
No, Noah won.
I thought Kenny won.
No. See, that fight was super close.
Yeah.
Speaking of another
That was my fight of the night.
I think
I
I
was
need to
laughing
go
at
back
you.
and watch the fights. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got to remember, like I say this all the time, like even when the fights are right in front of me, like I'm everywhere. My head is
Edwin Vera sitting beside you, so
Yep.
you're talking your ear off and you're getting a contact high.
we love it.
Edwin's
We
the
love
best,
Edwin.
dude. I was laughing at the difference between you two. You pulled up Tapology and Jim went to the registry. Very
Yeah.
official, Jim. I appreciate that. So what's your
Very
pick?
official.
Kenny Kiska?
Yeah, that one was my pick. The one that I thought was the front runner before the card started was sort of highs and lows, and that was with Aaron and Elijah.
Oh, right.
That it ended the way that we thought that it could have gone the distance and
Yeah.
could have been a slobber knocker. But that, for me, you were talking about levels, and I would say overall, I would go with Mason and his bout for fight of the night. But if we're talking with like
Just fight.
just fight, I would go with I would go with that one. But behind that with the novice amateurs, I would go with Ethan Kenny's bout. Ethan Kenny and Noah Kitchka.
So fight
Yeah.
of the night. You decide for yourself. Like, are you going with Noah or are you going with Mason?
Mason, yeah.
Mason. Okay.
Yeah. I think I would make it a clean sweep for Mason Jalen. That was the fight of the night for me. But I do want to talk about Kenny and Kiska because, dude, what an honor to have such high-level debut amateurs. Both of them looked far beyond their year. I'm not kidding. Like I said it in the intermission, somebody in the crowd asked me if those were pros. Now, clearly this person wasn't like, the hardcore regional fan, but still they thought that was a pro fight because of how
Yeah.
good they looked.
Well, they saw your standard debuts prior to that. Not standard. Don't put me in quote me on that. But what debut fights look different. They just do. And the rule sets are different. And when they saw that fight after 3 other fights that are at the same level, then it looked different. So that's why they asked probably.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, Ethan and Noah, I feel like our cage is always open to you two if you guys are watching and want to come back all day. I tell amateur, something I do on fight night every time.
Except after 6 o'clock on fight night.
Yeah, except after 6 on fight
Our
night.
cages are not open. To you.
Not open anymore per Pat. Pat will yell
Pat
at
Johnston
you.
will
Pat's
knock
the
you
man.
out.
And literally will knock or choke you out.
Pat is awesome.
He has the technology.
He has the
Pat's
ability. Yeah.
Pat's
Did you say
awesome.
technology?
Yeah, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. Anyway,
That was the Fatso bout with Ethan Kenny. And
yeah. Those guys
Yeah,
look like
those-
they've never eaten a carb in their lives.
You can't even say that around them, or you get
yeah, just get smacked, dude. But like one thing I do on fight night, always after the fights, is I go check on both guys, just thank them for showing up, putting on a show, all that. Ethan took that loss pretty hard. Like for a debut, I feel like for me, it's easy to say from the outside. If I was an amateur fighter, like it's all about experience. Wins and losses really don't matter as an amateur, but you could see that competitive spirit of Ethan big time backstage, man. He was upset.
I mean,
And that's huge. That's awesome. I'm saying that like it's a good thing.
He's 0-1 now, and he is like such a
best.
high level guy that like I'm sure like as much as he knew his opponent was also high level, like you don't go in thinking like
Right. He's
that's
better
not
than me.
that's
Yeah.
not gonna that's not I'm not gonna lose like
Yeah.
And that doesn't at this I mean at this level it's not. There are times where you can see someone's better than you, and there's also times where someone else just wins that night. Like,
I mean, it was a split decision. It was a very equal. I mean, you could flip a coin. Sure. Probably they fight 10 times and each of them wins 5 times. Could be one of those situations. But either way, huge futures ahead. If, like we said in the pre-fight, if they want to go through with it and make MMA a career, both of those guys have the freaking world ahead of them.
the grind is just it's not even started for them yet.
Right.
Like they're gonna hit some tough times, and if they decide that this is what they want to do, it's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah. All I know is if there's a 145 out there that fights Ethan and only looks at his record and thinks that's going to be a walkthrough 0-1, they got another thing coming, dude. He's now one of the best 0-1 fighters in the United States, I would say. Dude's an animal.
Faux show.
So clean sweep for Mason and Jalen on the fight of the night.
Well,
I think we
The three of us rarely agree on anything, let alone all of us agreeing on something.
That's very true. Danny Palm, fight of the night. Lay it on us.
I would have to agree. Mason and Jalen, and second was Noah and Ethan, I would say.
Right on. Yeah, that's very fair. There was another split
Copycat.
decision I want to talk about, though. Logan Pryor and Tanner Cahill. That fight had a lot of steam going into it for gym reasons, which is super fun.
It did, and you know, Tanner was fighting his. Was he 1-1, right? So his third
Correct.
fight, and I can't think of his name.
Logan.
Logan was fighting his debut, but tons of experience outside of the cage. He's Muay Thai experience, and obviously when you're. I think he probably grapples at some does he?
He's a blue belt. Yeah.
Okay,
He's-
but I mean he's competed in grappling. You assume that
He
with
has,
someone
yeah.
that trains at Stout. So tons of competitive,
experience, yeah.
there. So I think the judges. So both sides I have heard say I can't believe it wasn't a clean sweep.
Yeah.
I won all 3 rounds and it was pretty obvious. And I've also heard I heard Will say I thought we won that one.
Yeah.
I thought the judges got it right. I thought I saw it 2-1. I saw it going Tanner's way. I saw it as a competitive fight, but is there controversy for you guys?
I didn't think so. No, the way it was written up. Although wasn't it 30-27? Didn't
One of the
Yeah.
scorecards
Yeah.
had a 30-27. That was a Tanner one. That was the third announced
Right.
scorecard.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was a little off, but
But that's
You
what
know-
Tanner saw it as.
Exactly.
he saw it that way on all 3 cards. But there is something to where you're sitting as a judge and how you see that fight, because you may
Absolutely.
not see the control that's actually happening because you're
You're guarded from it. You're
yeah.
blocked from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would love to talk to a judge because Tanner made a really good point. If you guys haven't watched, by the way, Tanner's interview with Luke Payson on MMA Fancast, please.
Yeah,
Go do
It's
that.
a must watch.
It's awesome.
I started watching it. He posted it 2 nights ago,
Yeah.
and I started watching it. And I messaged these guys. We use Slack. I messaged these guys on Slack, and I was like, I screenshot it, and I was like, you must listen to this.
It's so
Must
good.
watch.
Tanner, I mean, kudos to you, dude. That's a fantastic call out. The whole interview was the perfect blend of respect and controversy. He never goes off the deep end disrespectful. He gives Lucas Siebert his due, but at the same time makes his point extremely clear.
Yeah.
I want to fight this guy. So
And he
worked.
told a story about Ferdoz.
exactly.
That
There's a lot there.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack, and it's interesting. People view different situations differently, and we'll have to hear both sides of the story.
I
but
love it.
but
And we certainly
ultimately,
will. Yeah.
but ultimately, he said I'm going to be pro someday, and he's turning pro, and we'll see each other then.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So
I love that.
I mean, the promoter in me,
It's awesome.
we
Yeah.
need more of that.
Yeah,
and
for
and I
sure.
think there was messaging with Julian. Someone was
Yeah.
messaging one of
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Was it you?
I think it was me. Yeah.
Okay, so Julian was like, "Yeah, we need it makes it exciting. It makes it fun. It makes you
Truly.
care about something you might not otherwise know even the fight exists until fight day, and then there's no backstory to it. When there's a story to be told, that's what makes it fun.
Right.
That's what makes it exciting.
I think we all understand on a base level, Dalton Rasta said it during intermission, Pittsburgh supports their own. We root for Pittsburgh before any gym affiliate, before anything. We want Pittsburgh to thrive. So once we all have that base understanding, now these things like Tanner, Stout versus Indio, Tanner versus Siebert, it's not disrespect. We don't need to come at it from a place of disrespect. It's just we're building this community. These are the rivalries we need. I say it a lot on the podcast, I feel but the Cody versus Dom fight back in the day at Stage AE, that put Pittsburgh MMA on a different level at the time. That elevated it. That's the kind of stuff we
Well,
need.
but there's another side to that. I mean, Kama will tell you that set Pittsburgh MMA back years
Because it squashed a huge prospect at the time.
No,
or why?
because it created an atmosphere in Pittsburgh with the gyms that were they weren't getting to be as good as they could be because they weren't
working together. Yeah, sure.
And so there is another side to that. I'd like to think that we can help to build MMA up here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Long term enough so that like each of the 4 or 5 big gyms have enough that they don't need to cross train everyone. Like there's enough aspiring fighters of aspiring people that want to compete in MMA at each gym that like there's room to get as good as you need to be there. But ultimately, like there's 2 sides to it. So Kama, he's louder than I am. There's not many people I can say that about. But Kama was like, we said that back. He was adamantly so. Say that to him, like, oh, that Dom Cody fight was like the best thing that everything ever happened to Pittsburgh MMA, dude. He will
lose it,
snatch you up.
I don't want that. I don't want the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania guillotine.
No, he learned that from Isaac.
True, very true. I forget where I was even going with the Tanner thing to begin with.
Well,
the one thing that came out of it, there was there's lots of positives, but he got a response.
Oh yeah. Siebert's in. Yeah. So we talked to Stout, we talked to Tanner, Siebert, Wilkins, and Morrill. Like all parties are in on this. So Siebert has a fight in February, which actually, as a promoter, this can go one of 2 ways. Siebert could get injured. Obviously, it's a fight that could happen, and that could ruin everything. But on the plus side, Tanner is 2-1, and thus will qualify for advanced amateur rules. Siebert is still 2-0, so without that fight in February, he would not qualify for advanced amateur rules. So Siebert, win or lose, as long as he's healthy, this fight's a go at advanced amateur on April 15th.
Yeah, all parties have agreed to it. All coaches like they all actually did Danilo. We haven't talked to him
not officially.
Yeah,
I can't imagine him turning that down. If Tanner's in the gym putting in work, he'll like that.
Yeah.
Siebert coming up in weight too, I think favors them a little bit.
For sure. I mean, anyone coming up in weight favors the.
Sure. So yeah, that's fun. Tanner said title fight on Fancast. I don't know that we can get behind that in your first advanced amateur for both of them, but title eliminator, that's a different conversation. Whoever wins gets a title shot. I'm good with that.
100% agree with the winner gets a title shot.
Yeah.
And no questions asked.
He said it. Said it right here.
Okay,
ladies
so we're
going to
play hypotheticals here. Let's just say Lucas wins. That's the bout's at 145 pounds. We can't. He's got to fight at 145 for the belt.
True. That's going to be a Lucas Siebert decision.
We'll see how that.
And Stout.
I would not have a problem giving a 4-0 guy that's fought 3 of his 4 fights at 135 a 135 title fight. So.
Yeah. But the layer
and that's going up.
Yeah,
too.
Right.
But so what are we then eliminating? Because if the bout's at 145,
well, we're eliminating the other person being
the opportunity. You're eliminating the opportunity.
Yep.
So to add a layer to that, can we talk about our amateur 135-pound title? Because we are in the planning stages of something for that.
I mean,
what keeps bothering you on my mic stand?
I don't know. You're on it. That's mainly what bothers me about it.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. What do you? I mean, say what you want to say, bro.
Are we saying? That's all. I was just asking for approval to say this.
I mean, we don't have a bout.
We don't have a bout, but we have.
No, I mean, to me, that's not. You don't have anything.
I think we got something.
I've been hearing that for years now.
I think we got something.
Do you have signed bout agreements?
Is it signed?
It's not signed. Is it
you have
signed?
nothing.
You're
You have
done.
nothing.
You're done.
You're done.
What's her name?
Bailey Dupree.
Bailey Dupree.
on TikTok.
TikTok.
I'm saying it anyway. I don't care. Ryan Middleton, I'm saying it.
I don't care.
Miguel Francisco, fresh off 2 first-round finishes, is in line for an amateur title fight at 135 pounds on April 15th.
Now he just needs a dance partner.
He needs a dance partner. So if you're out there and you're a 135-pounder or you coach a 135-pounder that you think is ready, got to be coming off at least 1 win and preferably multiple wins. This is a title fight. We take them seriously.
We don't
Hit us
hand
up.
them out. They're not like, oh, come fight for us. We'll give you a title shot.
Yeah, 1 and 2 versus 2 and 4 for the title. Like, nobody wants that. Miguel's hot right now, dude. Maybe the hottest fighter in Pittsburgh.
Talks like that.
Maybe the hottest.
Like, we're
I'm just
talking about
saying.
his fighting, bro.
Oh, he's also doing
He's
well
also a
inside the
good
cage.
fighter.
I mean, his last 2 wins, bro, I just start choking when I think about
At least you
Miguel.
don't.
His last 2 wins are absurd.
I
Absurd.
agree.
Absurd.
I agree.
Like,
now,
what is he
there-
doing?
his last win is not without a little bit of controversy.
Yeah?
I mean, there
disagree.
is whether it's like warranted or not, there's still some controversy there.
Yeah, he touched gloves and immediately got in Chance's face with a little 1-2 skiddly do.
Now, here's something I want to see, right? We got to watch that back. Danny, if you can cue that up, if it's at all possible, that would be awesome if you could.
I don't think it's going to happen.
He's doubting you. Now you got to. Now you have to, Danny. On his interview with Luke, Miguel stated, I don't know if you saw this.
No, I didn't see
But
this.
Miguel stated that Chance was throwing a kick. And as soon as he saw him throw the kick, he punched because that was part of his game plan to.
That's very interesting. All right,
Yes.
hang on.
So-
hang on. Oh, he's getting it.
Oh,
Danny
look at-
Palm's
Dude,
getting it.
He's
He's
way
getting it.
above. That's my boy, dude. Don't you ever question DP.
You down with DPP?
Yeah, you know me.
Oh no, he's got to log in. Can you log in, Danny
Can he
Palm?
log in? Here's the question.
User is hello. Password is
His people.
People. It feels
That's
so
awesome.
good to be back. Hey, just for any of you listening, just so you know, after we wrap this up, we're also going to talk about the 247 2022 awards.
nominations, right? Nominations.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the award nominations. Jim, this is something I was wondering. Have you seen the list? Okay, I didn't know if you came across if you were.
Well, I haven't seen, like my eyes haven't seen the list, but I watched the podcast. We've talked about it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
but we have a list on Asana that I was wondering if you came across it or not.
Hey, speaking of sauna, how did the Fat Factory challenge go for you guys?
Speaking of sauna,
It went well.
yeah, it went really
Yeah, I
well.
don't know what.
It wasn't
I'm not
difficult at
complaining.
all. Oh, see, he's got it going on.
Dude, Danny Palm is so awesome.
Bro, you doubted him like crazy.
You know, I can respect that. I can
So,
respect what just happened.
We
here.
should. Oh yeah, you're already there. Yeah, go ahead.
Start skipping ahead. Use that 10-second skip button. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we're like there.
Look how good Drew Shannon's coat is,
Dude,
by the way.
That
Shout out.
picture of Drew
Oh my
is
God,
so
so good.
awesome, so good.
Well,
Oh, there it is.
little too far there. All right, let's see if Chance is throwing a kick.
Okay, so let's see. Is it possible to watch in slow mo?
Not, but yeah, maybe go to that settings button, Danny. Bottom rightish. Yeah. See if there's speed on
Play
there.
speed.
Playback rate. Boom.
Yeah, we're at 1. Let's go.
Could
to
you imagine-
point 5,
Dude,
No,
two-
Less than 0.5.
0.25.
Okay.
247 Live is so awesome, guys. You can do all this on 247 Live.
You gotta get the subscription, dog. Okay, look at Chip.
Dude,
He
Chip
moves-
looks even better in slow motion. I didn't think
Okay,
it was
is
possible.
kish
Touch.
thrown?
Oh, there's a knee or something
Yeah,
coming
there's a
up the
knee that
middle
came
from
in.
Chance. But was he reacting to the punch? Was he trying to keep Miguel away, realizing that a punch was coming? I don't
Okay,
know.
can we rewind that?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
They sound hilarious.
Number.
Hey, shout out David McKinney too, stepping in on short notice to commentate like a pro.
Dave McKinney brings it.
You can mute that.
Chip. This is
I
great.
kind of like hearing Dave talking.
This is hilarious.
Half speed.
Holding up their gloves to touch gloves. It's established that
Okay.
we're going to touch gloves.
They were awfully close too. It's not like
Yeah.
they touched and separated. They didn't really pull off.
I mean, the whole thing is like once you touch and you're like, I don't think I even if there wasn't a kick, I do not believe that this was out of the ordinary or like was it quick? Sure. But it wasn't, I don't think it was dirty.
Sure.
There's Pat. Hi, Pat. Okay. I'm trying to see if his leg moves at all. Oh, he might have been
That's
swinging
hard to
toward
tell,
it
man.
from that angle.
You just can't tell if it's a reaction to the punch, though. If he was trying to like teep him away or keep him at a distance, I don't know. That's way too hard for me to call.
But that is 100% what Miguel said on the MMA Fancast podcast.
Yeah. Sure.
I think that the touch before starting is not needed because it opens up the bout to potentials like that where you can have something that gets scrutinized when it doesn't really need to.
Well, I think that they either need to like, I don't know. Then maybe you just say there's no touches.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't have a good
there's
answer
no
either.
good
Then you
answer.
have fights where Kama's hugging people. Like,
Yeah. Padmore
Well,
and Cornette hugged each
yeah.
other in round 3. Like,
That's
do you
different
do?
though. That's like mid-fight where they get caught up in.
no. Padmore, that was at the beginning of the third round they hugged, or was that what round?
that's
It
what
was
it
at the
was.
beginning
Yep.
of a round.
third, yeah.
They legit hugged. So, I mean, ultimately, there's not a set rule where you have to be set for a certain amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
we can't even tell from that camera angle. Now, the other camera angle that we may get footage for at some point may have had the leg swinging, and
Right.
then it's like fair game. But
Like our view where we were sitting.
I didn't notice it. No, I mean the other camera.
Yeah. On the other side.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything. For me, it's like Chance still, he's fought for us 3 times recently, like all this year, and I still don't know how good he is. Like, he's still a mystery to me.
Yeah,
He's a BJJ brown belt, but we haven't really gotten to see any of his grappling.
yeah.
He's fought 2 of the best guys in Pittsburgh.
Now that's the thing. He has literally taken on
the
the
toughest.
who's who of
Yeah.
that weight class. Like those two are.
Ferdoz and Miguel are, we
Yeah.
all know, top tier. And Chance did not blink at fighting either one of them.
Yeah,
Those 2 didn't go his way. He beat Anthony Morris in between. So, like, his bounce back's going to be interesting, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Because I still think Chance is way better than we've seen. And I want to see that level. I want to see what he's got still.
yeah. I think he's an interesting fighter. I think that, yeah. Usually when someone has fought for you for 3 fights,
You
what
have a
you're
good
getting.
read on him. Yeah, right.
And that's just not the case right now. He's still a mystery after three bouts. All right. What other things do we want to talk about? About the
I want to talk about Elijah Davis's backflip.
well,
Is that what we're calling it now?
now let's see if he can pull that up.
Yeah. Pull that up, Danny Paul.
He did it. Wait, so I remember it happening, but I also was like distracted. Did he legit pull off?
He did it like he was distracted.
Why? What happened?
Do you need another?
Did he fall?
It didn't really.
No, I'm not.
It wasn't a
an
full
alcoholic.
backflip. My recollection is
It wasn't a
not.
full backflip.
It was not even a quarter backflip, I don't think.
Whoa, we got to pull that up.
I'm just saying, like,
Was it like-
Elijah,
The backflip for people that shouldn't be doing backflips.
correct.
Ah,
I think
see.
that even though Elijah and I are built almost identically,
Yeah.
I could do a backflip roughly this well.
Interesting. You're gonna insult Elijah that hardcore.
I mean, he's not here.
Look at
right
those
now.
guys.
Oh, hideous, terrible. Except for Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton was pretty good. I can't lie.
Unreal.
I thought Dalton was gonna beat me up.
All right, rewind it a little bit, Danny. I think it happened before this.
Wait, before he took. Okay, let's.
I think it's right after.
Okay,
Yeah. Here we go.
this
Here we
one.
go. Oh no.
Danny.
Oh,
Oh,
here it comes.
what?
No.
Was that a replay? Get the live finish. I think that was a replay because it like cut weird. Look at Edwin back there. What's up, Edwin? All right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What? What?
What's crazy is that I'm
What?
like,
Wait. Could you replay that for
I'm
me?
relatively certain.
Is it really worth replaying,
Oh,
Elijah?
I feel like Elijah can actually do a backflip though. Like he's an insanely athletic dude.
Based on what I've seen of him, I'm going to say no.
I mean that
Dude,
it wasn't.
we have to do some talking to Elijah. We should call Elijah right now.
Yeah, we
and
need
be
answers.
like, dude, what were you thinking? Why did that was completely unacceptable?
Because it looked literally like me trying to do a backflip, but nowhere in my mind do I think I can do a backflip. Like
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very
like-
aware I can't,
yeah, it's like he knew he couldn't.
but he still went for it.
That was
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm really glad I didn't see that in person. It would have affected me for the rest of my life.
It was right in front of us, too.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember seeing something, but I was also like, you know how it is. You're
That
talking
was
to
it.
someone.
It was just something you saw. There was
Yeah.
no definition to it.
Elijah,
We're
listen,
calling it a backflip.
Here's my PSA. Elijah Davis. There needs to, at some point in time, be some redemption. We need to see, next fight, we need to see a real backflip or some type of break dancing or some type of really coolness to take our memory of what happened at Brawl in the Burgh 15 away.
Yeah. He did do a pretty sick one-handed cartwheel into the cage. I'll give him
Oh,
that
did he?
too. Yeah, our photographer. I don't know if it was Chris or Paul, but one of them got like a pretty cool series of photos.
Yeah,
of
our
it, too.
photographers
They're
rock.
so good, dude.
Yeah.
And they're both getting better each show.
Yep.
And I thought they were awesome to begin with. And now I literally told Bermuda, I was like, dude, did you get new equipment or something? Because these shots are even better. And he did actually get a new lens. So
Oh,
shout
nice.
out. Good
Nice.
good investment.
Good investment. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah. Here's one thing I actually want to talk about with Elijah, but it also extends to Tim Bailey and
Cam Smith?
uh
Are you talking
not
about
Cam
the
yet.
bout?
I was going to talk about the fact that they're advanced amateur now. Like this was their third fights. They are now going to qualify for advanced amateur. So like
Well, they can apply.
they can apply. They're going to get it.
Most likely they will get it, but
Yeah.
we like honestly.
Yeah, we don't control that, but I feel pretty confident that those two are good to go. But this was a fun card in that regard of like they were still novice amateur. There were a lot of amateur fights, but there were a lot of examples of guys about to take that next step. And those are two guys. They're both 2-1 at 135. They're friends and they cross train and stuff. They're not going to fight each other, but they're both they're both two of those prospects that we've been watching grow and develop, and they both lost one. They learned from that loss and came back better. Both of them won after they lost. Like those are two guys that you watch and it's like, okay, their careers are ready to go to the next level now.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I think watching Tim just utilize his wrestling and start to like not just depend on it, but use it as a tool and use it when he need and mix it up and scrambles and like all of the there's just an excitement of having guys that are super like just studs that have some learning to do in the other aspects that they don't completely dominate. And I mean, I think Elijah Davis is unbelievable because he wasn't like a super wrestler. He like dabbled in wrestling. He didn't do more than dabbling in wrestling, and he looks like a WPIL wrestler.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's pretty incredible.
It's big for us with those guys being at 3 bouts now. You know, because obviously we get to match them at advanced. However, then that becomes a problem because of the skill level that they have and putting them at advanced. You know, once we run into the advanced bouts, those guys, those fighters want to start like nitpicking on their opponents and saying this guy's reach is too long, too much wrestling here. And so there's you know, some good and some bad with that.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to a point where you're considered an advanced AMI, it's time to start like making sure you get like you're on the path to becoming pro. So this is the point, in my opinion, where you want to make sure you see the things you're going to see as a pro now, so you can know what you have to work on and whatnot. Some people, some coaches, some fighters see it differently. They want to be 5-0 or 5-1. They want to just find people that they can win against, and like there's just different goals. Like if you want to be the best pro you can be, I think that's the wrong approach. That's me personally. I think if you're putting yourself in positions against people that you might not match up great against, but like that you should be able to find a way to beat, you're going to either find a way to beat them or you're going to know what you need to work on. And that's what I think.
Cam Smith, perfect example. Yeah. With how he looked Saturday night, leaps and bounds. And this is not taking anything away from his debut, but leaps and bounds, he improved tremendously. Goodness. And when you step up and you
fight, a different fighter. He was.
Mm-hmm. So that's like, you know, for any fighters listening and wondering how do they get to that next level, there's a good example. Watch that fight, go back and watch his debut, and you'll see a difference. And a guy stepping up to fight somebody that, you know, has is multifaceted when it comes to MMA, and he didn't back down from it. His coach, you know, saw an opportunity for his fighter to improve. Yeah. And, you know, the positive to that was far outweighing anything negative that could come from that.
Yeah, I mean, Cam got out-wrestled badly in his debut against Val Caruso, just had no answers for Val's wrestling. And they turned right around and accepted a fight against Tim Bailey without blinking an eye. Like, I can't say enough about how rare and awesome that is, that you get out-wrestled badly and you say, oh, a D1 wrestler, give me that guy next because I want to improve and I want to show you that I've gotten better in this regard. That's crazy. So mega props to Cam. Cam's very good. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like, you can tell just from watching him. He's very good.
And he's going to be a better fighter all around because of that. Like, it's going to make him better.
Absolutely.
So
I want to go off script a little bit here, boys. And
Flip the script.
We're close to Christmas. We're a couple days away from Christmas.
Are you going to get all sentimental on us?
No, not really.
Great.
I'm drinking beer with the boys. I want to know, BitB15 coming up April 15th. What bout is at the top of your wish list for Santa? You can pick one fight right now for Santa to put together.
It's not booked.
Yeah, like a realistic fight for BitB16.
Well, I gotta go through the list.
Did I make a list for Santa already? Maybe. But we got Ethan Goss versus Calvin Harbaugh booked. I think you were talking about that when we walked in.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, you weren't?
No.
Oh, I thought you were.
I was talking about you. I said a boom, chicka boom. Ethan Goss, Calvin Harbaugh.
That fight is signed, sealed, and delivered. Official featherweight title fight, April 15th at the Hollywood Casino at the Meadows. Insane fight. Insane.
I mean, I wouldn't even say there's my number one wouldn't even be a fight.
What would
it would be a fighter.
Okay. Who would it be?
I mean,
it's Santa. His elves can make anything happen.
I'm itching to see Jake Lowry again.
All right.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, there's more to this.
Jake is special. Jake is a talent, that was on the path for greatness, and
Yeah.
it's been paused. But he has the intangibles
Yeah.
that just everything you would want in a fighter. He has he has all those things, and so I like that's my Christmas wish list is for, and it's not even necessarily for April, but it's just I want 2023 to be the year that Jake Lowry can compete again.
Yeah. That's a great one.
If
That's
that's
a great
what
one.
he's gonna do.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. I'm fully on board with that, obviously. Jake is the man, and if he can compete again, that means he's healthy enough to compete again, and that's the real silver lining there. So, yeah. What's up, Jim?
Oh, I do have a fight that involves the same fighter.
Okay.
And it's like wishing Jake a healthy return, coming back, and he's 100%, whenever that may be. Standing across from him in the cage, I would like to see DeWitt Dixon. Jake Lowry and DeWitt Dixon.
Oh, man.
So,
What a banger.
Yeah. You know,
That would be insane.
That would be insane.
there'd be a little bit of a backstory there, you know, with Cole Masick as Jake Lowry's teammate, and you know maybe there's
And DeWitt won the title against the amateur title against his teammate. That would definitely be that'd be fireworks.
Yeah, I've seen DeWitt's team talking about him dropping to 155 at pro. I don't think he can. I don't know him well,
What?
but
That doesn't make
it doesn't make sense, dude. DeWitt is jacked at 170. Like, he's huge at 170.
He was big at 185. Like,
Yeah. He is jacked.
Who was the fighter that used to? I think he died recently. The fighter
Rumble?
that used to Rumble, yeah. Anthony Johnson used to cut from like 240,
Heavyweight, yeah.
240 to like 170.
yeah.
Nobody needs to see that.
That's like
that's
you.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I weighed 170 on Friday. Yeah. I'm back to 220, so that feels good. So
You
I
were back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I lost 25 real pounds though, so that still feels good. The last 15 pounds were fake water weight. That was an interesting process though to go through. I will say I'm glad I did it. I felt it. I don't want to do it again.
Dude, Thunder Lips.
Thunder lips.
I was calling him.
Dude.
Did you see him after that?
Oh my god.
When he weighed in? You didn't see him?
I did, but I didn't.
Dude,
I purposely ignored
his
him.
lips were like
Because I texted him when I think he was on his way back, and I texted him, give it up.
Yeah, you did. You said give it up, and I refused. Dude, I was in it. I was in it to win it. I weighed 207.3 with clothes on, and I was like, I didn't want to weigh in just my underwear. I was like, I'm not going that far. But when I was 207.3 with all my clothes on, I'm like, dude, if I just get naked, I'm gonna make it. So I did. Underwear.
you could have gotten naked and
Been championship weight. Yeah, 205.3.
If
But
you
I
would
was
have
good with
cut
that.
your hair, you would have been championship weight.
Or that. Yeah. That's
or just like spit.
spit a lot. Yeah, could have done that. My wish for Santa is Miguel. I want Miguel's title fight because several reasons.
You have a crush on him, like let's be honest.
Him winning the title in his hometown would be very special, Washington, PA. However, there is also a guy out there who deserves a shot at his title back. Cam Allgaier, one of the most dominant 247 amateur champions in the history of 247, who I have said repeatedly, I think is one of the best bantamweights in the United States. Cam, he lost against Hunter Starner, but
he won.
he won in my mind against Hunter Starner.
Sure.
Yeah, like I knew Cam was good, and that
No,
was,
not that he won in your mind.
No,
but
like
he
Hunter won the fight.
benefited from it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Hunter definitely won that fight. The decision was correct. But like Cam showed me more in that fight that I was like, dude, Cam really is as legit
He's
as
a
I thought.
beast.
Yeah, like Cam is insane. Miguel's buzzsawing everybody. Nobody buzzsaws Cam Allgaier. There's a little backstory with Cam defeating Justin Patton back in the day. Miguel feels close to Patton and wants to kind of avenge his teammate. I'm just saying that's an awesome freaking fight
that
on
would
every
be
level.
awesome.
That's my Santa's wish list fight.
There could be some amazing fights amongst them. I mean, Patton,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
fight could be awesome.
Yeah.
We have we've kind of inquired with one side about a potential fight. We can't really get into that, but if that fight happens, I'm
Insane.
stoked about
That
it.
fight would be nuts.
There's a fight on here that I'm looking at your list that we've already nixed. Josh Visoki and Chase Boyd. Chase is not in a gym position right now.
There are some bangers on there.
See, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot here. Obviously, Cahill and Siebert's on this list.
Yeah, for sure. That one's obvious.
I like this one. You know what I'm talking about?
No, not yet.
James
Oh,
Leto
yeah. James Leto and Ken Burrs.
and Ken Burrs.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
That would be redonkulous.
Dude, Stout and Indio are, like we just said, I talked to Mason. Mason put it perfectly on the podcast. When it comes out, you guys will hear it. But, like, it's all respect for sure. Like, they respect each other. They respect the crap out of each other. But they also understand they'll make each other better by competing against each other and continue to build Pittsburgh community. Like, James Leto texted me and was like, let's do it. Like, get me an Indio guy. They got a 185. I'm 185. Wrestling season's going to be over. Like, let's do it. And Ken Burrs obviously has a ridiculous wrestling background as well. Like, that fight makes sense on every level to where
It makes sense to us. The question is, does it make sense to, like, Danilo? He thinks differently about, like, he's not crazy about the amateur rules and, like, the fact that PA makes you fight so many times amateur when he feels like I'd rather these guys just be fighting pro. And so it's a matter of, does this make sense for everyone?
And I'll argue with guys, like, I'm okay with arguing and with pushing back on things, but Danilo's a guy that I'm not going to argue with.
Yeah, probably not
Like,
the guy.
let me put it that way. Like, not only the physical repercussions, we don't even need to expand on that, but he's seen the highest of high levels of this sport, been in the UFC. Like, if somebody knows more about the game, like, Danilo definitely does. I'm not going to tell him anything.
Yeah, that's kind of like, when you look across the cage and you see Greg Rudolph, you see Greg Rudolph and the other baddest man, Dalton Rasta, standing up, and, like, I let them stand up for a long time, and I'm like, please guys, just sit down so I don't have to go over there and, like, tell the two, like, biggest, baddest dudes in this place to, like, can you guys please sit down? So I waited. I'm like, okay, like, there's people behind them. They have to sit down. So I go over and I'm just like, hey guys, like, you two are, like, the biggest, baddest men in here. Why are you doing this to me? And they go, you want us to sit down, don't you? And I was like, if you want to, that'd be good. That's a really good idea
that you came up with all on your own,
all by yourself. Great idea. I agree.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Any hold on, let me see if there's any.
There's some more good bouts on there.
I mean,
so
Zack Snyder, Tony Welsh.
Dude, Zack Snyder, Tony Welsh. I come up with bouts. Here's the thing: Jim and Danny Palm are the pros. They're the matchmakers.
This is like fantasy matchmaking.
I fantasy matchmake. That's what I do. I just say things that I think would be awesome, and then they go through it.
Have we heard anything about Evan DeLong? No.
Well, yeah, he's
We want him back. Evan, get in the gym.
he's
bro.
doing something with wrestling.
Baby,
Yes,
come back.
So
But then
it's-
that's over. So it's time to get back in the gym and, like, wrestling will be over in March.
Dude, Evan DeLong beat Kenyon Moore, and I just want to remind people that happened.
Yes, that happened because
Kenyon's so good. He's so good. Like, that win is that fight is freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Go back and watch that fight. That's one of our
247 live.
Yeah, that's one of our fight of the year contenders, isn't it?
We're
to
gonna
be.
learn
It
about
better
that.
be. If it happened this
We're
year.
gonna learn about that.
I don't remember when it happened.
Yeah, that's the true.
If it was
February.
True
okay,
story.
February, yeah. That's 100%.
Do we want to turn it over to
do it?
nominations?
Turn it over. Perfect segue.
All right, so let's do
Fight
that.
of the year.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that one yet. Okay, folks. 2000.
Going down January 5th, correct? We changed the date. This is breaking news. We changed the date. I'm
I
out of
told
town. Oh, it's not breaking news. Just
It's not
kidding.
breaking news. But if you were watching before we went live, when we were like pre-show living,
Yeah.
I did say that we're changing the date to the 5th. 5th of
Perfect.
January.
Yes, I'm out of town on the 30th. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's
He
gonna be.
he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't wear the pants in this relationship.
I'm not actually
clearly.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be seeing Anthony Hogaback. I'm going to be seeing Kill Switch Engage live in Massachusetts, actually. Yeah, there we go.
Bah, 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 bah. All right. So we'll start with the things we what.
I like smacked my lips, and it was very like, yeah, it was very
gross.
noisy in the mic.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm always these mics are so sensitive that like if I'm loud breathing, I'm like trying not to loud breathe into here. Yeah. I'm only allowed to laugh through your nose.
I like Zack Snyder when he would crack up on the podcast. He would like disappear and cover his mouth like he was afraid the mic would pick up him laughing. It was fun.
All right. So Pro Fighter of the Year, those ones are locked in. The nominations are locked in. Now, folks, you will be able to vote on these. We're going to get something up on Google Forms, and you'll be able to vote for them. The voting will count as follows. Hunter Homistek will get 1 vote. Jim Mooney will get 1 vote. Danny Palm will get 1 vote. Luke Payson will get 1 vote. And the fans' vote for each will receive 2 votes. So 5 total votes. If there's a tie, that's the only time I will be involved. I will break any ties. And I will only break a tie between those that are
Tied with
tied.
the most, yeah.
So if there's 3 people nominated and there's 2 that are tied, I will break the tie between those 2.
You won't pick the third guy. as the winner.
Exactly. I don't get to pick one that wasn't tied. All right. So, Pro Fighter of the Year, we have Comma Worthy, who was 3-0 with us, 0-1 outside of the organization. We have Justin Patton, who was 3-1, all were with us. And we had Ethan Goss, who was 2-0, all with us, a title win and a defense. We have, what other ones have we already announced?
Gym of the year.
Gym of the Year.
Jim Mooney.
Yeah, we're putting Jim Mooney in. No, we're not. No. Gym of the Year, the Matt Factory, the Academy, Indio Dojo, and Stout. So those 4 gyms are your 4 nominees. We also have
Coach. Coach should be locked in, right?
We did new gym of the year too, didn't we?
Yeah.
But which one did we announce already? We announced 3 already,
We
like
did
the nominations.
Gym, Pro Fighter.
New gym of the year.
Yeah.
It's new gym.
Gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
So new gym of the year, we've kind of eliminated 2 of them. Because like we looked at them, and I don't think we announced new gym of the year. Are you sure?
we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure
the
we did.
nominees
We
for
talked
that,
about it.
the nominees for that is going to be. How do you pronounce that one? Boxing.
Just do it.
Amviers.
Just come on,
Amviers.
let him do it.
Sorry.
Amviers, High Ground, Deepwater, Henzo Gracie Morgantown, and Tactical Combat Academy. Those are your nominees for new gym of the year. These are gyms that we are working with that are close enough to work with on a regular basis, that could be on every card or maybe every other card, things like that, that we haven't necessarily had long-term relationship with previously, that we would love to. They came on, and we're going to name a new gym of the year.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to stop you super fast. Shout out Amviers going 2-0 at
2-0?
BitB15 because
Because
Aldo, their head coach,
Aldo. their head coach.
I like having like a hype. This is like a rap duo where you just back up everything I said. You shouted a little louder than I said.
Rap duo.
Aldo never turns down a fight. Ever.
Never.
Sometimes to the detriment, I think, of his guys. He's just like, oh, you want Colton Musgrove to fight John Jones? He said he'll do it. He said he's in.
No,
We're good.
I think he's more calculated than you're giving him credit for.
I'm definitely being ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that he's game. That's what he is. He's game, and those guys are.
They're so game. It's crazy.
Here's the thing, like, I'm just going to use the most recent example that I can think of, but there's lots of these examples. The most recent one was we talked to Mike Wilkins. You talked to Mike Wilkins about a potential fight, and he was not interested in it.
Right.
And you and I were both like, wow, that's
I'm
not
surprised.
Like
yeah.
that's not like Mike to not be interested in pretty much any fights. Like
right.
you know, and so we have a lot of that. Like as long as we have the fights, you know, together and ready in a timely manner, like most of the coaches around here are
They're game.
intrigued by like similar,
Sure.
you know, similar. Anyway, new gym of the year. We're gonna do coaches of the year. So this is now this is really the two people that are gonna be the nominations for the coaches of the year are really the faces of the corners for the
team,
most
yeah.
the fight team, like who normally corners their team. Now it could be that they could have other people corner them sometimes, but this is who like is the face, but it's really their whole fight team coaching staff. But we're gonna name two. So the coaches of the year nominations are the Greeley Dempsey, Matt Factory coaching
I'd also
combo.
vote for them for president if you put Greeley Dempsey yard signs out there.
For sure. Williams and Sachs, Chris Williams and Dave Sachs at the Academy, Mike Wilkins and Will Morrill at the Stout Pittsburgh, Danilo Villafort and Mike Hewitt at Indio, and Ray Ross and Darren Cassidy at the Gorilla House Gym in Altoona.
Bangers.
Boom. There's your nominees. You guys will be able to vote in the coming days. Go to our Facebook page. We're going to get that. But let's talk about... Now, here's the other thing we're going to be very clear to do. Today, as we talk about these nominees, we are not going to tip our hand. We're not going to like... We're simply going to talk about why they're nominees and their achievements in 2022 with 247 Fighting. So we're not tipping our hand with like, oh, I think I'm going to vote for this guy, like, or we're not going to like push anyone. We're not going to try to influence any votes. That's what we're here to do, is just give you the facts. Amateur Fighter of the Year. Now, this is a big category because there were a lot of amateur fighters on the scene that had a lot of success in 2022. Indeed. Amongst those, Elijah Davis, 2-1, all with 247. Tony Welsh, 2-0, all with 247. Lucas Siebert, 2-0, both with 247. Julian Flannery, 2-0, both with 247. Miguel Francisco, 2-0, both with 247. Tim Bailey, 2-0 with 247, 0-1 outside the organization. And we have an honorable mention that is not a part of the qualification, which was at least 2 bouts in 247 in this calendar year, and that's Ferdoz. He was 1-0 in 247, and he was also 1-0. He won a title in another organization.
Yep.
So he was 2-0 on the year, 1-0 with us. He makes the honorable mention, but did not meet the qualifying. So Padmore, Davis, Welsh, Siebert, Flannery, Francisco, and Bailey.
Boom. What a list, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Our scene is
so much talent there.
it's insane.
Young
Really
talent.
insane.
Those guys, those Isaacs, those Wilkins, those Dave Sachs, the Will and Mike. They're bringing those guys along well. There's a whole
Truly.
flock of them. I mean,
Yeah.
all right, fight of the year. I'm gonna skip to the one that you already snuck
Sure.
out of.
Sure.
So that was Evan DeLong and Kenyon Moore. And we have Evan Drusi and Sam Wabi, which is an absolute banger. What is that?
Don't worry
Is that
about it.
you?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay. Hoot Lee and Dan Walters.
Dude, I just rewatched it. It's so good.
Now, guys, here's the beauty of this. If you aren't subscribed to 247, you gotta subscribe to see these fights.
Inform your vote. Go
Yeah.
watch for yourself.
You gotta
They're all there.
You gotta tell them. Dan Albright and Justin Pippins,
Dude.
Kama Worthy and Josh Roller, and Hunter Starner and Cameron Allgaier.
I mean, how
Great
good are
fights.
Those? How good are those?
Great fights
Can you
at
believe
every
that,
level.
that fight happened this year?
Yeah, that feels
Yeah,
like 6 years
That's
ago.
crazy. Yeah.
That yeah. Just imagine there's our organization. We had 6 events this year. There are organizations that have 100 events.
Thought it was
Crazy.
7.
We had 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
we had 7
You're
events this year. There are organizations that have 100.
Yeah. UFC is
crazy.
almost every weekend.
Yeah, UFC
Oh my God.
is 50 events, not 100, but
Sure.
I can't imagine
No,
being
it
that.
makes no sense.
I mean, who knows? Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Not,
but
just
dude,
not this Sunday.
those fights.
Sunday.
Be like Josh wrecking his truck in the tunnel. Oh, anyway, poor Josh.
All right. So those are the 6 nominees.
So good.
Hunter Starner, Cam Allgaier, Dan Albright, Justin Pippins, Kama Worthy, Josh Roller, Hoot Lee, Dan Walters, Evan DeLong, and Kenyon Moore, and Evan DeRusi and Sam Wabi. And the Evans are both on there, and they're
That was on Santa's wish list.
I know, Evan and Evan. Anyway, okay. So we announced amateur newcomer nominees. Jim.
We actually tried matching them, debut versus debut.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. That's
Yep.
crazy.
All right. So
That was last summer. It might have been the very first August card.
this one's going to be the most talked about of all of them.
Okay.
Okay. So this is knockout of the year.
Oh, dude. I'm
right.
sorry. You
So-
said don't tip the answer, so I won't.
Yeah.
But come on.
Okay. So we have Kama Worthy KOing Kahim Murray.
No, I like KO
KO.
because that
Yeah.
would be correct.
Hey,
We
side
have-
note on that one, real quick.
Go ahead, shoot.
I have a video on my phone of that from my angle, sitting cage side.
You're talking about Kama.
Yeah, and I'll post that for the awards because that angle's way better.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's better than you realize.
Is it filthy?
It's filthy, bro.
Filthy.
Speaking of filthy, do you recall what happened in front of us with a bout and a fighter that we were talking about earlier? The sound of an elbow connecting. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Who was it?
I'm all for a good elbow.
It was Lowry.
Oh,
Yeah, it was Jake.
dude, I got that video too.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was his video.
Yeah, that was my video. Oh my god, that was disgusting.
Oh,
Hang on.
was that
It's
Tony Charles?
No, that
No,
was
it was Marco Hutch.
That was
Yeah.
Hutch. Yeah.
Oh, dude, the sound of that elbow.
Yeah, that was right in front of us.
Yeah. Keep talking. I'll try to find this.
Okay, so we have Kama-worthy Kahim Murray. We have Tom Kaiser with a vicious elbow against Damone Hawkins.
Speaking of elbows.
It was sick. We have everyone's favorite, Joe LaRocca and Jacob Loeffert with that one-hitter quitter.
9 seconds, I think. Unreal.
Then we have Julian Flannery knocking out Sheldon Nyoff after they both kind of talked a little smack, and he ended it viciously, ferociously, and face planted him. And we have Josh Visoki and Des Ford, which happened at Flood City Fight Night 2.
Dude, that's an awesome list.
It is an awesome
When you just
list.
hear that and understand that all happened this year, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool that all that happened in 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not going to say
basically,
anything.
that gives you that's 5. We only nominated 5, but there were other very good knockouts. Take for instance, Flannery's against Vanderhoff, and there were other ones. So the odds are, if you come to a live 247 fighting event, you're going to get there's a good chance you're going to see a knockout of the year type of knockout. Yeah.
Especially if we have a heavyweight bout on there, because I think
Oh yeah.
wasn't it
Heavyweights
all of the heavyweight bouts
ended by
or finishes?
TKO,
Yeah.
KO, yeah. Then we have submission of the year. Any submissions come to your mind when you hear that for this year?
Von
Just
Flew.
curious. What's that?
Danny Palm.
Von Flew.
Von Flew. All right. So we have Brett Pastor submitting Jake Schilling. We have Wendy Anunson submitting Carly Joe Thomas. We have Justin Patton submitting Josh Armstrong. Elijah Davis with choking out Aaron Harper. That's fresh.
A late addition.
And Miguel Francisco submitting Austin Martinez.
Yeah.
Those are
good.
the 5 submission of the year candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
You heard it.
What I would encourage on this list, Wendy choking out Carly Joe, pretty standard rear naked choke when you just look at the finish, but
Yes.
watch the back take. When
Yes.
you go watch it on
How
247
quick.
Live.
Like
Yeah, the submission
Lightning.
isn't what's impressive, it's the back take
setup,
to set
yeah.
it up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, go check that out.
Okay, comeback of the year. Three nominees of this. Now, to clarify, okay, what do you mean by comeback? Comeback could mean a bunch of different things. Comeback could be within a fight. Was someone losing and then they came back and won? Was someone out of MMA for a while and they came back and won? Did someone not have a fight in Pittsburgh for years or whatever, and then they came back and now they're back in Pittsburgh? It's a comeback, and it could be any variety of things. There's 3 nominees for this. First is Mason DeLess. He's been off for a year, and he hasn't fought in Pittsburgh since 2019, so he's come back. Time to come back.
He came back. He won.
Kama Worthy suffered 3 straight UFC losses, came back to Pittsburgh, established himself, went 3-0 in the organization, and landed a happy retirement.
Yep.
Great comeback. And last, we have Dan Albright. In his fight against Justin Pippins, it looked like he was going to die. And
Pretty
then,
close, yeah.
and
Kind of
guess
did,
what?
to be fair.
He came back.
And won.
And
That
he came back and he got to finish himself. So when he was left for dead, he came back.
Looked like he was going to die.
Those 3 comebacks are the nominees for 2022 247 Awards Comeback of the Year.
Nice. I just want to say, even though Justin Pippins lost that fight and Dan's comeback was absolutely insane, Justin Pippins at the beginning of round 2 was one of the scariest things I've ever witnessed inside the 247 cage.
Wait, you were inside the cage?
I mean, I felt like I like when he came out just slinging heat. I don't know what Isaac told him between rounds.
There was nowhere. It was almost like the ring started getting smaller.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
so big. They're 2 huge dudes. And when Pippins came out just absolutely slinging, I was like a little terrified watching that happen.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And for Dan to weather that storm Not only weather it.
He's
but-
as durable as he gets.
Oh my goodness.
I just punch him. I have bad intentions with everything that I throw.
Is that Mike Tyson?
It is, yeah.
That just came out of nowhere. You know what I was talking
Well,
about.
that's how Justin came out. It was like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
And then
he really did.
So the awards we will give out were Pro Fighter of the Year, Amateur Fighter of the Year, Fight of the Year, Amateur Newcomer of the Year, KO of the Year, Submission of the Year, Comeback of the Year,
Did you say Cahill of the year?
Gym of the Year, Coach of the Year, and New Gym of the Year.
Nice.
We will additionally
Maybe at
be
some
giving
point
out
we can have Cahill of the year.
Yeah, honestly.
once we get Toby in here.
Yeah.
Toby Tanner.
Okay,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
so the other two awards that will go out will be the Pro MVP and Amateur MVP, which has to do with promotion and ticket sales.
Straight up.
Straight up, simple as it gets. You don't get to vote for that
These
one.
are numbers. Yeah, there's literal winners.
The
in
numbers
each
tell the
category.
story.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Danny Palm?
What do you think about that?
Can we talk like chipmunks? Oh yes, we
Please,
can.
Please.
We're the Chipmunks. Alvin, Simon, Theodore, do. Oh my. Okay, that's enough.
Do. Come on, we need a little chipmunk every now and again.
I will say Danny Palm thinks it's hilarious.
I
dude.
love the chipmunk
Yeah,
voice.
every time you do it, he dies.
he does
Yeah,
die
yeah.
over there. It kind of
Well,
inspires me.
Because that's his alter ego.
Yeah.
I think he's truly a chipmunk, and Ryan Middleton is the alter ego.
Dude, you're wearing a pit sweatshirt.
That's right. Don't be
That's-
jealous.
That's the pits.
I
Don't
can't
be jealous.
endorse Pitt.
I can't endorse.
Unless it's James Leto and Jeff Magan.
Those
I
one.
can endorse them. And
Yeah.
Wilkins. And
Wilkins
Isaac.
went to Pitt.
I mean, UPJ.
Oh yeah, that doesn't count.
It counts.
Does it?
Dempsey, Greeley.
Wait, so when
Wilkins.
you go to
They're all Pitt boys.
UPJ, does it? Do you wear?
Dylan Cole.
Do you wear the same?
That's a good question. I'm not
Is
sure.
it the Pitt logo?
I feel like if you go to
It's all Pitt.
Penn State, Mont Alto, or New Kensington, you still love Penn State. Like you're still
no,
a Penn
no.
State guy.
That wasn't the question.
No, but I feel like
No, I'm
it's
curious about it, though.
analogous.
Are you really? If you go to Penn State, like
Yeah, you still.
Barron,
Yeah,
you're a big Penn.
absolutely.
Well, that you should be.
You still identify with State College for sure.
I mean,
Dude, Penn State. I'm not gonna rant too hard, but like
dude, Penn State.
we got a lot of my friends from high school went to Penn State. Like that's a popular college for people from where I grew up. And
Same.
it is so cultish. Like the first time I saw my friend who went to Penn State after we went to college, and I saw him again. He had like Penn State flip-flops, shorts, shirt, hat, wristbands. Like he was just
Oh, it's called apparel.
lined out. Dude,
No.
there's a line, bro.
No, there's not. That's the thing. That's the thing that most people don't
They're
understand.
way
This
too
is
proud.
coming from
If you're
a
not
Penn State
yeah,
fan.
obviously.
If you're not like,
He's wearing blue and white undies right now for sure.
So there is a slight correction to the 80 billion Apple TVs in
Yeah.
particular.
some of them were Penn State too.
Yeah, they're Happy Valley. Yeah, it's like 20 billion there, 60 billion
Yeah,
Upper
yeah.
St. Clair.
Fair. Fair.
All right. Other questions? Did we leave anything?
I don't
Did we
think
leave
we
a
did.
stone unturned? Did we not cover something?
I think we got everything. I couldn't find Jake's elbow, but I will at some point.
We have been nominated. 247 has been nominated for promotion of the year.
Oh yeah, true.
Where?
Obviously.
What?
Right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Promotion of the year.
I thought
The
there were-
nominees are
Well, you know, back in the day,
247?
like before 247 was really around, there was a site called Bluegrass MMA.
Oh yeah.
And
Shout out.
Bluegrass used to have like, you know, it was all regional, and it was like they would have these categories, and it would be like, you know, there would be Matchmaker of the Year, and Danny would win, and
Nice.
bah, 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 bah.
Bluegrass was awesome, dude.
Dude, Bluegrass was awesome.
Yeah.
And
Shout out
and
McKinney
and then
and company.
McKinney and like McKinney ran it with other people, and then it sold right to B2.
B2 bought it.
And then B2 like ran and like didn't do anything with it.
Destroyed it.
I mean, it wasn't great. Whatever they did with it wasn't great. I don't know what it was.
They didn't do anything.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah. Why'd they buy? Let's buy something and not do anything with it.
And just kill it. Makes sense.
That's like
Yeah.
UFC with Pride
That one made sense.
because it was in
Yeah,
Japan,
Right. That one made sense. But yeah. Anyway, ladies
Or
and
the, or the
gentlemen.
WWE with WCW.
You lost me with that one. Are you a pro wrestling guy, Jim?
I used to
What
be.
what happened to your voice there? You lost me with that one. Are you a pro wrestler? I'll use the chipmunk voice.
This is when I talk about
Are you
wrestling.
a pro wrestler?
Are you a pro wrestling fan, Jim?
Danny Palm. I was waiting for him. I'm like, come on, Danny, let's go. We're Danny.
Yeah, we know what we're doing here. All right, so I'm just surrounded by pro wrestling fans. That's
Wait,
fine.
is Jim?
He said he used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, big
everyone
time.
was.
But
Well,
but
so-
for me, it was more WWF. That's what I grew up watching and loved it.
You were, are you 10 years older than me? So you were
10
a
years
decade,
smarter is the way to
Correct.
really say it.
10 years uglier.
100%.
100% correct.
That
me, and,
makes sense.
me and Hunter like pick on each other about our little go-tos. So he always says that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. He used to. What was the other thing I used to?
Correct. You would say correct.
No, what was the thing?
100%.
100%. And I would say correct. Correct. If someone said something like, "You guys went to the park today, didn't you?" I would say
Correct.
correct.
Well, you got that from me.
Correct. Danny Palm. All right. Are we done here, folks? Hey, guys, thanks for watching.
Jim's empty.
Make sure you listen to the podcast. Remember, we changed the date. It's 1/6/23 at 7 p.m. We will be live on 247 Live with those award winners. Additionally, we're also going to have on the Facebook page, on the Instagram page, we're going to have the link for you to fill out the survey for these nominated people.
Yeah, you
Things.
guys will play a part. It's not just our vote, it's the fans. So things are going to get interesting because I know there's a lot of loyal gyms out there. You guys are going to rally the troops and get your guys voting. So it could come down to the fan vote.
Hello, people.
Goodbye, people.
Wait a second. Hold on. Did I mess something up?
What'd you mess up?
Wait, did we leave off Danny with a vote?
No, he said you said that.
1, 2, 3.
Luke and you as a tiebreaker.
Me as a tiebreaker, and 2 for the fans.
2 for the fans.
You
1,
said
2, 3,
5,
4.
which is actually
Yes,
6.
it's actually 6. That's what I messed up. There's 6 total votes.
Math is hard.
Any ties? That's the only time I'm even in the equation. But
Well,
I have
That's his strategery.
everyone's gonna be a tie. Watch.
Ryan Middleton is going to win every award.
The
Amateur
winner,
fighter of the
Right,
year.
right in awards.
Ryan
Best
Middleton.
newcomer.
Of the year, Ryan Middleton. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious, boy. Unbelievable.
Let's do some other voices before we leave.
No, please end.
This end the stream, Danny. You must end the stream.
We're the chipmunks.
Done. I'm done with you guys. This is unreal. I'm done with these guys. Hey guys,
Thanks for listening and watching. All right, we're out. Peace.